Hi guys, this is Will again. So in today's video, we're going to discuss building your own creator business and how long it takes versus actually acquiring a business. So let's start out with some research that was done recently via the Tilt, and I'll provide a link below. It takes so the summary is that it takes 1.5 years to build a successful creator business on YouTube. And this refers to creators who actually do this all the time or most of their time working on their content. So if you're only working part-time on this, it's going to take a lot longer. So these are people who spend, let's say, 20 hours, 25 hours plus. Now this is according to a survey that the Tilt did, and it essentially found that most of these creators have small audiences. So it's not the 1 million followers, it's probably somewhere 10,000 and below. Full-time creators are averaging 4,000 followers across all channels, and that channels not includes YouTube, but Instagram, Twitter, and others. So as you can see, the actual time it takes to build the channel and to make profit can range up to 1.5 years. In the same report, if I recall correctly, it takes about 6 to 7 months of work, and if you're spending all of your time to make your first dollar. So if you see these videos on YouTube that are selling courses saying that you can become a millionaire in 3 months or in a month, this is unrealistic. Okay. It also takes money to build a channel. They always say that you don't need to spend money, but there is cost. So according to the report, it's not cheap. It costs an average of $10,700 to launch, and I would expect that to be in the form of equipment, subscriptions, and tools. And then there's $1,000, and then cameras, etc. $1,000 to $2,000 per year in ongoing tech expenses. And those are things such as hosting, again, some software subscriptions, SaaS, software as a service models, some analytics, etc. So on YouTube, the most common ways of making money are essentially coaching and consulting, selling digital books or ebooks, courses and workshops, affiliate marketing, and also advertising. So it could be sponsored content, how-to guides, and then some of the more popular ones get paid speaking fees, and then paid memberships for things such as Patreon and Discord, and then some donations as well. So all of those different ways of revenue end up to create that type of cost or that type of revenue model. So without going into super detailed, the bottom line is it takes time, a lot of time, and it's not suitable for every person out there. So let me detail why. When you are running a YouTube channel or you're running any creator channel, you need different skill sets. So if you're young and you're lively and you're ambitious and you're motivated, yes, it's easy to go and write your scripts, research the content, film it, and then promote it, and then spend all that energy. But in most cases, the ones that you see on YouTube that are generating hundreds of thousands of views, you don't see the other 100 people out there who've started and gave up after a month or 2 months or even a week just because they couldn't get those views. And one of the biggest problems is self-motivation. When you are trying to motivate yourself to do different things on top of your daily life, which can include a job, it can include household responsibilities, it include social relationships and a social life, school, or whatever it involves, it's very difficult for people to, unless you're highly motivated, to spend that time. So what does that entail? That means that, well, if people are spending 1.5 years on average, and not like I'm saying this is average, to build a full-time income, and they're doing this 20 hours up to whatever, it could be up to 80 hours, then for most people, as you can see, they're probably going to fail, or they're probably never going to generate a successful creator business. So in my channel, what we talk about are, we do talk about building from scratch and examining the various models, but one of my key focuses is to help people acquire an existing income stream. Obviously, you will need some capital, but the one thing that you must recognize is that your time is worth money. So if you're spending $10,000 or $20,000 to acquire an income stream that would take you a year or 2 or 16 months to make, well, you can do the calculations. I mean, what is your time worth, right? So this is something that you must consider. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the alternatives of acquiring a business. When you acquire a business, there are obviously you need to do your due diligence, but there are some benefits of acquiring a business. Acquiring a business, number one, is that the person who created the business or the income stream, I like to call it, use the words interchangeably, is the fact that the income stream, they've already done all the hard work, number one. So what you see in a business, there's a lot of things you don't see. There's a lot of trial and error, a lot of wasted time. You could be testing something for days and find out that didn't work. You could be writing your keywords for your YouTube videos or making the content, find out that there's no views. If you see the history and you ask most YouTubers, they'll tell you that their first videos probably didn't get any views. Probably like the one I'm doing right now. But the one thing that you must acknowledge is that the time it takes to build something of substance requires not only time but also a lot of wasted effort. So by acquiring a business, you avoid, number one, the wasted effort, right? Because they already have a model that has generated revenue or has a history of revenue. Number two, best reasons for acquiring a business rather than buying a business is that you can acquire a business for very below fair market value. And what I call fair market value is typically when you value a business, you will value it based on a multiple of profits or revenues, and there is some formula according to other factors, such as whether there's recurring revenue or the type of business or the stickiness of the business, or there's many factors. And that's something that we'll go into in a later part of my videos. But the one thing that you need to know when you are creating acquiring a business is that a lot of these businesses already have fine-tuned their model and have optimized everything so that you don't waste time in unnecessary movement and, again, unnecessary actions. So I'll give you an example of something that you would acquire, something that I've acquired in the past. So I acquired a job site in the past, or actually a better example is I acquired a software business. Basically, what it allowed people to do is have a hosted solution, and people who made sports picks could actually go and post their sports picks. The guy who made this business was a young student, and he created it, and he had a big hard-on for fancy cars and taking his girlfriend out for expensive vacations. So everything he created, he would sell it to me because he needed the cash right away. So a lot of times the deals that I made with him were for below market value. So the business was doing $3,000 to $4,000 in revenue, but he would say, "Look, if you pay me $15,000 right now, I'll sell it to you." And one of the conditions were, okay, well, there's no, I don't do any due diligence. Basically, I trust him. So he shows me. So I get onto a Zoom call, and I ask him, okay, log into your PayPal account and show me the transactions. I verify the transactions, and then at the end of the day, I gave him the $15,000, and he just transferred me the domain, and then off we go. basically the entire business or income stream transaction was done in probably less than an hour. Most transactions require a lot longer than that. And I'm sure the ones that have done business transactions in the past know that. But if you want to do something and acquire something for below market value, there's a couple of things that you must uh, be able to do. Number one, you must be able to identify those people who want to sell assets or income streams. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, networking, right? So you need to participate in discussions. It could be on Reddit. There's certain Facebook groups, on Discord, business for sale. Also, you need to advertise. So you need to put it out there that you're willing to acquire businesses quickly. And this is part of what I'm doing right now. So if you're out there and you need cash and you want to sell an income stream, I'm open. Okay, just pitch me on it. The second criteria is this, is that you must have cash available. That means that these people who want to sell their business, they're not thinking about, well, I can make this much over 10 years or 5 years and I build it. But they want money today. So what they want is they want you to sell their business, they want to sell you their business and you to pay right away. So that means having liquidity is very important. Most of the time, I will do a transaction using escrow.com because I have an account there. So I'll already fund the account and then I'll have money ready. So that means that anybody who comes and says, hey, I have this great income stream that I want to sell because I need money for another business, right? It could be for various reasons and not necessarily somebody with extravagant spending habits, but somebody who has a requirement for cash. Maybe he has to pay rent, maybe he has debt or whatever. So this is the type of acquisitions that you would look for. Again, these type of deals, you need to get yourself out there. So by joining, and that's one of the things, by joining and subscribing to what we're doing, we're going to be finding these opportunities and then advertising or presenting them to you. So this is a quick summary on sort of the strategies for acquisition. Again, as the channel progresses, I'm going to show you specifically case studies on the type of businesses that I've acquired, how I went through it, and then go through all the details, the financial details. Everything will be fully transparent, and some of them failed, some of them succeeded. The one thing that, the last criteria that's very important is that you can't be afraid to fail. So a lot of times you'll see a business and you'll see that they advertise for a cost. You might think, well, it's too good to be true. Oftentimes you'll run into things like that. And you're going to buy businesses that, well, maybe you have a bad feeling about it, but you can't be afraid to fail. And I'll give you one specific example. I bought a website hosting business a number of years back. And that website hosting business just hosted crappy websites, basically using their own software. But they had 200 clients, and they sold it to me for less than 1 year of earnings. Now, just to let you know, I've owned that business for 15 years. I've made back my initial investment maybe 30x, if not more than that. And the reason why they sold it is because they wanted to move into another business. In my case, I was able to take the business and then modify it so it needed no maintenance. Basically put all their websites onto WordPress, use a shared hosting service. I think I pay $49 a month. And yes, there is attrition. A lot of the customers disappeared. So from 220 customers, then it's probably like only 40 of them left. But they all paid a premium, and they've contributed, to the lifestyle that I have right now. And it required, on average, about an hour per 2 weeks for me to maintain the server. Obviously, at the beginning, I had to learn a little bit about how to manage a web server, and also how to manage WordPress. And that took some, that there was a sunk cost in learning that. And I did make some mistakes in the acquisition in terms of using the wrong hosting service. But that's all part of the learning curve. Like, again, the point is you can't be afraid to make mistakes. Yes, I'll go over other studies where I bought businesses, I spent money, and they totally ended up with zero. But the thing is that you need to average it out, right? You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But if you're afraid to make deals, you'll never make money. And the only other option is to build from scratch. So you need to kind of weigh the probabilities. What's more important? Is it time, or is it building something that's customized, right? So these are things that we're going to go into at a later time. If you have any questions, as this is the start of my channel, just post them below. I don't have the fancy graphics, and I don't have the fancy scripts. I'm just going right now and trying to educate the audience, and hopefully, if you subscribe, incentivize me. I'm going to put 2 or 3 videos per week and talk about my journey. Just for those who've seen me for the first time, I've been living the expatriate digital nomad lifestyle for 35 years. I've done it successfully, and I've not had to hold a 9-to-5 job for probably less than 5 years in my entire career. So I'd like to help all those people out there who are looking for an alternative lifestyle. So my channel is targeted to those people who are looking to, or people who are about to embark on a career after finishing school, and want to consider something that's alternative to getting a 9-to-5 and paying a mortgage and paying car loans and getting bored of your job. And for those who are in their mid-career, who've been laid off, or want to find some other alternative lifestyles. And then the third one are people who are embarking on retirement, because it's just to be totally transparent, I'm at an age in my late 50s where I'm more or less semi-retired, but people who fall in the same demographic and want to choose, I think I can add value. Anyways, thank you again for your time.